It's a palace of art frozen in time. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston isn't like other museums. Its founder, a wealthy, eccentric art lover, left a strict, ironclad will. Upon her death, nothing in her collection could ever be moved, sold, or even rearranged. Every painting, every sculpture, every piece of furniture was to remain exactly as she left it. To violate the will meant forfeiting the entire billion-dollar collection. So for decades, it stood as a perfect, unchanging monument. A snapshot of one woman's passion. Until March 18, 1990. The city of Boston is stumbling home. St. Patrick's Day celebrations are winding down. The streets are loud, littered with green. But inside the Gardner Museum, it is 1:24 a.m. It is quiet. The quiet of a tomb. At the security desk sits Rick Abath, a 23-year-old night watchman. He's a part-time musician in a rock band. This was just a job. He's joined by only one other guard, supposedly patrolling the vast, dark, silent halls. A buzzer rings. A sharp, electric sound that cuts the silence. Abath looks at the security feed. Two men in what look like authentic Boston police uniforms stand outside a side door. Their faces are partially obscured by their hats, their jackets glistening from the damp night air. A voice crackles over the intercom. Boston police. We're investigating a disturbance. Abath can see their cruiser parked on the street. It looks legitimate. But letting them in is a direct, flagrant violation of museum protocol. He's supposed to call the actual police to verify their identity. He's supposed to, but he doesn't. He buzzes them in. The two officers step inside. The heavy door clicks shut behind them. One tells Abath he looks familiar. I think there might be a warrant out for your arrest. The man says, his voice calm, authoritative. Can you step away from the desk? This is the moment. The fatal error. Abath, perhaps worried, perhaps intimidated, steps away from the desk, and away from the only alarm button in the room. Instantly, he is slammed face first against the wall. The cold click of handcuffs. He feels tape being wrapped around his head. Not just tape. Thick gray duct tape. Around his head, over his eyes, over his mouth, sealing him in darkness. The second guard, hearing the commotion and summoned by walkie-talkie, arrives. He is met with the same brutal, silent efficiency. Cuffed, blindfolded. The two guards are marched, stumbling, down into the museum's cold, damp basement. They are separated. Handcuffed to pipes 40 yards apart. Isolated. Helpless. Don't cause any problems, one of the thieves says, and you won't get hurt. The guards are neutralized. The alarms are silent. The city is asleep. The two thieves now have the entire priceless museum to themselves. They own the palace. For the next 81 minutes they hunt. They don't smash and grab. They move with purpose as if they have a shopping list. They bypass the most valuable painting in the entire museum, Titian's The Rape of Europa. A masterpiece worth $300 million all by itself. They don't even glance at it. They ignore Raphael's. They head straight for the Dutch room. They stand before Rembrandt's The Storm on the Sea of Galilee. Christ in the boat, the waves crashing, a masterpiece of light and shadow. Rembrandt's only known seascape, the sound of a box cutter. A sickening, tearing sound. They slice the massive canvas directly from its frame. A brutal, ragged cut. They do the same to a lady and gentleman in black, also Rembrandt. Sliced. They move to a tiny Rembrandt self-portrait, painted on wood. They try to pry it out, but it's secured too tightly. They struggle, and they fail. Frustrated, they leave it, a small scar on the wall. Then they move to the most valuable piece they will take, Vermeer's The Concert. A serene, beautiful painting of three musicians, one of only 34 Vermeers known to exist in the entire world. It's small. They don't cut it. They just lift it from the wall. Easy. But then their shopping list gets bizarre. They take 5 sketches by the Impressionist Degas, a painting by Manet from the next room, and then, the strangest items. A bronze Chinese gu, a ceremonial beaker from 1200 BC ancient. Strange. And finally, a small bronze eagle finial, perched atop a Napoleonic flag, worth maybe a few $1,000s. They left a Raphael. They left a Botticelli. They left the $300 million Titian. They took an eagle. What? Before they leave, they walk back to the security office. They know about the surveillance system. They rip the VHS tapes from the recorders. They take the printouts from the motion detectors, showing exactly where they walked. Every trace of their path, erased. They make 2 trips to their car, a red Dodge Daytona, loading their haul. At 2:45 a.m., 81 minutes after they entered, they are gone. They vanish into the night, taking 13 irreplaceable works of art with them. The total value, $500 million. Today it's estimated at well over $1 billion. Hours pass. Cold hours. The guards remain in the dark, bound. The morning shift arrives. They find the front doors locked, the museum silent. The silence is wrong. Inside they discover the horror. The empty frames. Like open wounds on the walls. They find the guards in the basement. We've been robbed. The police, the real police, are called. The FBI descends. The world awakens to the news. The largest art heist in history has just been pulled off. And the leads? They go everywhere and they go nowhere. Suspicion falls hard on Rickabath, the guard who broke every rule. He let them in. He stepped away from the alarm. He even buzzed the door open after the thieves were already inside, to let them out. Was it incompetence? Or was he the inside man? He denies it all. The leads turn to Boston's gritty underworld. A local gangster, Carmelo Merlino, brags to informants he's going to recover the art for the reward, but it's just talk. Then there's Bobby Donati, a mobster with connections. He's murdered a year later in an unrelated dispute. Did he know too much? Did the art die with him? A different suspect emerges. Miles Connor Jr., a notorious, brilliant art thief, a rock and roll musician himself, just like a Bath. From prison, he allegedly told investigators he knew who did it, that he could get the art back. Was he the mastermind or just playing games from a cell? Decades pass. The case goes cold. Then a new name. Robert Gentile. An aging mobster in Connecticut. The widow of another gangster claims her husband gave Gentile 2 of the paintings. The FBI digs up his entire backyard. They find nothing. But in his house? A list. A list of the stolen art, its estimated value, and a note about a possible meet in Maine. Gentile denies everything, claiming he was set up. Every lead, a dead end. Every sighting, a ghost. The statute of limitations for the theft is long gone. The thieves, even if found, can never be prosecuted for the crime. The $10 million reward, offered for any information leading to the art's recovery, remains the largest private reward ever offered. It has never been claimed. And inside the Gardner Museum, because of Isabella's iron-clad will, the empty frames still hang on the walls. They are forbidden from being filled. They are ghostly, gaping wounds. A $500 million question mark. A monument not to art, but to its absence. Where are they? Tucked in a climate-controlled vault? In a billionaire's private gallery? Or were they destroyed, lost forever to the shadows? The truth, like the art, is still out there, somewhere.